Have you ever worked with the Power Platform CLI and wondered why there are multiple authentication profile types? That is all history now, because the universal profile is the way forward. Marcel is here to tell us all about it in this episode of the Low Code Revolution. Hi everyone, and welcome to a new episode of the Low Code Revolution. In this episode, we will talk about the Power Platform CLI, and in particular, authentication. I brought in a special guest who you might know from earlier episodes, and that's Marcel Ferreira. Marcel, can you please introduce yourself for the people that don't know you?
Sure. Hello, Daniel. Hello, everyone. I'm Marcel Ferreira. I'm a senior product manager in the Power Apps Pro developer team. And basically what we do, I always like to say, Power Platform is for everyone. Everyone should be able to develop, including professional developer. So our job, it is to build the tools, the developer tools, to be sure professional developers are very efficient when developing with Power Platform. And Power Platform Command Line Interface, CLI, it is one of our products, and this is what we are going to talk about today, right, Daniel?
Yes, because we have been talking about the Power Platform CLI for a while now. We had a bunch of episodes already about the separate parts that we have within the CLI. And you were also one of the guests, actually, in a couple of the episodes, I believe. So, you're already a familiar face for everyone. But today you have something special, right? There's a new change that is coming, or new change. It's already there, but there's something you want to emphasize, right?
Absolutely. So basically what I would like to talk about is authentication. So we did quite a few changes in authentication, and they are already there. Nothing best than show some analogy so you will understand what I mean. So let's go to my desktop so I will show you exactly what I mean. Here I am in my computer, and I'm running Power Platform CLI. Okay. Before we go to Power Platform CLI, I want to show a few portals for you. Okay. First, we have here Power Platform Admin Center, which also known as PPAC. And what this is basically a portal to manage environments and settings for Power Automate, Power Pages, lots of products. It's not only Power Apps, right? And here I can see the list of environments. I can do several operations, right? And this is what I call admin operations. If you notice here, I am logged in as administrator. That's my user, admin@marcelbf.org. That's my test org. Okay, so that's PPAC. Another portal that I want to show, it is the Maker portal. Okay, a Maker portal is basically a development platform where you can create Power Apps, but also other things such as cards, Power Pages, and a bunch of few components, right? And this is backed up by Dataverse. Dataverse is basically a data platform that comes with Power Apps where you can store and model your business data. Okay, and here I am also logged in as another user, Dev1. Okay, so remember in PPAC I was as admin. Here I am as Dev1. They are different users, and here I am in environment. I'm in the developer environment, so I have a context of environment, right? And in this portal, I can see my solutions. I can develop here. Okay, so I want you to keep this in mind. We have these two portals. That's why we have different profile types in PAC CLI. That's how we started. Okay, let me go back to my PAC CLI. If I go to PAC Auth list, this will show the list of authentication profiles that I have in my environment. And if you see, I have one of the kind admin and another one of the kind Dataverse. And the admin is the admin1, and the Dataverse is dev1, right? So every time I run PAC CLI commands such as PAC admin list, this will retrieve the list of environments. I'm actually using the admin profile, right?
So I see two stars there for active.
Correct.
So how do I know which one is currently connected? Is that because of the username that I see there?
That's a good point. That's exactly, they both are active, but they do perform different things. So it is fine to have two actives here, but it's confusing, as you pointed out, right?
Yeah.
So when I do pack admin list, I'm using the admin profile. If I do a pack solution list, which will show a list of my solutions, then I'm using the Dataverse profile. Okay. So again, it works, but it's confusing. So what can we do to fix that, to be simpler to the user? That's when we created a universal profile. Okay. So the long story short, it is, I would like you to only use universal profiles because they unify these both profiles here. And nothing better than showing the real world. So what I will do it is I will clear my authentication profiles and we will get started from scratch. Okay. So
Okay.
if I do pack out clear, this will clear all the authentication profiles. Okay. If I do another pack out list, then I should not have any. Yep. No profiles were found on this computer. Okay. So again, let's imagine we are starting from scratch. So I will close my VS Code. I'm using pack CLI from VS Code. And I will open VS Code again because I want to show you a cool thing. Okay, it is loading. All right. If I do a pack out list, there are no profiles here in this computer, right? But once I'm running my VS Code and I have the extension, the first time I try to use any command, what CLI will do it will try to use the user that you are authenticating in your window. So for example, in my machine here, I'm using dev1 as a user. So it has automatically created for me an authentication profile. If I do a pack out list, now you can see I have a universal profile. And this is the user I'm using in my Windows machine. And you can see the type is operational system. Okay, so it created for me. I don't need to do anything if I'm using this user. Remember, only in Windows,
wow.
okay? So let's say I don't want to use this or I want to use another user. So I can still create authentication profile. So let's do pack out create. And this will pop up a window here so I can log in the account that I want to use. I will use the same account, okay? So you can see it has created an authentication profile. It is using my default environment, which is the personnel productivity. That's my default environment. And I have a new authentication profile here. If I do a pack out list, I will have two. They are the same. Only one is active, right? And here you can see, let me just close this one so we can read better. The second one I created, so is the type user. The first one, it is an operational system, basically because it has been automatically created. And I can delete it. If I delete it, it will not be created again. So let me delete this one. It is
one. Yeah.
There you go. So if I do a pack out list, I should have only one environment, or only one authentication profile. And this is of the type universal. Okay. So that's basically what I want to show. And let me run pack admin list. This will show the list of my environment. So here I'm using my admin profile, right? Yes. And if I do a pack solution list, it should use the environment I'm connected to. Yeah, so I'm connected to my personal productivity environment. This is the list of solutions that I have. Message it is, I unify the profiles. It is super simple. I only need one profile to use admin functions or also Dataverse functions.
So what you can also do now is switch environments because you had the personal productivity environment in the profile, I believe.
That's a good point. So let's do pack and list. If I want to change the environment that I'm connected to, this is the same as org command if you're used to pack CLI.
Yeah.
So here I'm using the personal productivity, right? So what I can do it is I can pack and select. If I'm not sure what to use, I can always use help here. So help will tell me what parameters I can use, right? What I wanted is to change the organization, so I can use select. And I can use help again to see the parameters, right? So
yeah, that's really helpful.
Absolutely. So let's use env. And here I need the ID, URL, or unique name. So let's get from the list. I will connect to my dev environment, right? So I can use this ID here. I will just copy and paste. And now I am in my dev environment. If I do a pack solution list, I will get the list of solutions I have in this environment.
Oh, that's a lot more.
Oh, yes. So that's what we did. We simplified a lot. And the last thing I want to say it is, if you are using authentication profiles, always use universal. Don't mix universal and Dataverse and admin kinds. What you will find it is moving on, it will be hard or even impossible to create the other profile types, Dataverse and admin, because they are no longer needed. Okay? If you use these profiles, if you have authentications running these profiles, everything should keep working fine. But moving forward, only universal will be used. Basically, it's simpler, we unified, we can abstract all this complexity, make a lot simpler to use CLI. For pro developers and also makers, lots of makers, they use Pack CLI. We want to keep things simple, right?
Yeah. So what I always saw in Pack CLI was that a lot of people use the URL parameter inside of the Pack auth create because they wanted to connect to only one environment. And if you do that, then of course you will create a Dataverse authentication profile.
Yes.
But now, do you have something to change that? So when you run pack auth create, can you enter -- something else, environment or URL or something like that?
Yes, that's a good point, Daniel. So let me just zoom here so it will be clear what we're talking about. We have this parameter URL. And if you use pack auth create and pass the URL, today you will create a Dataverse profile. Okay, we are changing that in the next version. We will create also a universal profile. But my recommendation it is, if you need to use now, you can use environment. If you use the parameter environment, they are basically the same. You will create an authentication profile connected to a specific environment, but the type of the authentication created, it will be universal. So as of now, please use environment. In the next release, URL and environment, they will be exactly the same. Okay.
So then whenever people have their scripts already, they can just keep using the URL parameter. Nothing will break, but it will underwater only create the universal profiles, right?
Exactly. And the same is for the kind. Kind today, we say is deprecated. It is deprecated. We don't want people to use it. It still works though. If you need to create a Dataverse or admin profile, you can. And the reason for this to work is the same. We don't want to break automations. We don't want to break use cases. So that's fine if you keep using. But moving forward, this is not in the next release for the kind parameter, but moving forward, we will always create a universal profile. We will make harder and harder and impossible in the future to create Dataverse or admin profiles because they are no longer needed. They just add complexity to your solution.
Okay, so we don't want to use that anymore. No reason at all to use those. Just use the universal one, right?
Exactly, no reason at all. And this is for any operational system, Windows, Linux, Mac OS, anywhere universal profiles are the way to go.
Okay, great. Well, thanks a lot, Marcel. This is really helpful. I'm gonna let the description below the video. I'm gonna put the docs article in there about the authentication so that people can look at that as well. And thanks a lot for spreading the knowledge here. And let's hope that we see each other at another video. And thanks to the watchers for looking at this video. And we hope you're going to use the universal profile from now on. And hope to see you at the next video. Bye-bye.